Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it start? Nobody knows. It's a revolution. Ay, Bitcoin is the one, no substitution. Ay, with Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have a very special episode for you guys today. We got Bell's Corner episode 7. Yes, it's been 7 episodes so far. We've been talking to Adam McBride about Bell's. It seems like forever now. It's been fun. It's been an exciting ride. We're down. Bell's is at 50 cents right now, but we're not worried. We definitely see another halving coming in the summer, and that should really spark a lot of people looking at it. But we feel like it's going to be something. We got O.P-Cat coming in January. We're going to see if that's still on pace. Adam's the man with all the answers, but it's going to be a very chill episode. There's a lot of stuff happening with AI right now. We want to get Adam's opinion on that sector, and we've been missing out on gains here in the Bitcoin ecosystem because of virtuals and what is going on with Eliza and AI 16Z and all that stuff. So we're gonna get his opinion on everything. It's gonna be a fun, real chill episode. So come hang out with us. But without further ado, let's get the show started. We bring in my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? So I know our first thing we're at that ask Adam is what's going on with our bags, right?
Do something. No, he's not even like one of the core devs, man. He's a community leader. Definitely has a big I think presence, but he's still just a positive community member that tries to get him. And we thankful that he's agreed to jump on Bill's Corner with us and give us some updates. So I'm excited to dive into that.
And this is a huge time for Bells because they're about to add OPCat, but we just seen the S-Script guys come out with Cat Swap. Cat Swap's going to be for the Cat 20 tokens, right? So this is something that once Bells has OPCat can easily sink their teeth into, because it will just be Bells and Fractal will be the only ones that are really pushing this narrative. And this is something that could be really special. And I'm sure the S-Script guys are going to put this on Bells too. So I'm actually curious if anyone has talked to the Cat Swap guys as well. So without further ado, let's bring in Adam.
Let's do it.
Adam McBride, welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. I feel like you're the third co-host, bro. Thank you so much.
What about my bags, dude? What about dude? This is like the brutality of crypto, right? Crypto is like, when it's good, it's fantastic, and when it's bad, bro, it doesn't even matter, dude. We rotate so quickly in and out of different, whatever protocols or AI or whatever it is. That, man, when somebody else is ripping, you just feel bad, dude. It's the way it is. It's nature, right? It's the nature of crypto. And you might feel bad about whatever, your runes bags or your ordinals bags, because you see people literally printing millions of dollars going after whatever AI agents. It's just like, God damn, what the hell, man? And so, yeah, I don't think it's possible to avoid it. We were briefly chatting about your kind of experience with DeFi Summer and kind of that same feeling. Actually, I think it'd be a good kind of for people to hear your experience kind of how that went down in DeFi Summer and the kind of rotations would be good to kind of talk.
100%. It definitely feels what we're experiencing now. This kind of feels like AI winter, right? With DeFi Summer happening in the summer and AI kind of happening in here in this winter. But I remember I was a Bitcoin maxi back then. I was just buying Bitcoin. I bought my first Bitcoin right during that season, like almost right to the end. And I was really paying attention, really sinking my teeth in the crypto, because before that I was looking into stocks and stuff like that. So I was just learning about crypto, and I remember the sushi stuff. I don't know if people know what happened with that. The sushi swap guys came out, and then the lead sushi chef, who ended up being Sam Bankman-Fried, in my opinion, ended up dumping all his sushi, and that kind of ended DeFi Summer. But DeFi Summer was started just like how AI winter kind of started now. It was just upward momentum, and it was like buy anything. But the guys who were buying in the bear market, right? The guys who were buying the bags of 20, was at that point 2017 was that bull market. They were all experiencing kind of what we're experiencing now, in the sense of, why ain't my bags moving? I've been DCAing into these assets all the time, and it's just this new asset class that is not moving. I'm going to sell my stuff and get into this new asset class. And it felt the same way. But as soon as people were thinking that, that's when the sushi stuff happened. And then DeFi took a huge dip and it lasted for like 3 months until Bitcoin kind of went to $20,000. But that was really my experience. Like I said, I was the outside looking in. I was just like, stupid. Let's buy Bitcoin. These guys are dumb, right? So at the time, it was just like I felt like that way. But then once 2021 came around, and I was the one not making money, right? Like, but my Bitcoin bags were kind of sitting at 40,000-50,000 when Binance Smart Chain and that token was doing 20, 30, 40 X's, and I'm like, damn, who's the dumbass now?
Yeah. I mean, it's really difficult. I mean, this is where, as a small trader, if you don't have much capital to deploy, you can just chase your money to zero, right? You can literally just try and grab the whatever. Next day, I meme coin, get completely wrecked, and you're basically done. And so it's really, really hard. There is definitely a difference between, being somebody who has like $1,000, like I started in crypto, or somebody who has $100,000. Like, it's just completely different ball games. It's hard. I don't necessarily recommend chasing, just because it's impossible to. I mean, you really have to go deep, like in ecosystems, to try and find value, right? And so if you're into ordinals and runes, or that sort of thing, I'd say, I mean, you can dabble and try to learn things and come over to new ecosystems. Like, that is always worthwhile. But to just kind of flip out of your position and try to flip back into something else, bro, I don't think that ever is going to go well. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like you gotta kind of specialize, or at least dive deep. Like, there's no, you have to learn about stuff, right? I mean, I'm all for like get into AI, but dude, I've spent, I don't know how many hours, 8 hours a day for 2 months in the AI ecosystem. So like, you've got to try and learn and figure out what's actually happening in
Yeah.
order to place bets. Like,
Yeah.
it always feels like you have to do the, be in the trenches and do the work.
I agree with that completely, and I think people, especially in let's just call it the UTXO ecosystem, because I believe that that is kind of growing together, right? Like all these UTXO chains. You have to remember that if you had conviction with the Bitcoin ecosystem growing, and then you got exposure to some of these other UTXO chains like Bells and Doginals and Fractal and stuff like that, this part of the cycle is like the 2018, 2019 part of the last cycle with Ethereum's infrastructure, right? So 2023 is a great year for ordinals and Bitcoin's ecosystem. 2024, not so much. But 2023, we didn't have the builders. That was a problem. 2024, the builders are here. There's good amount of builders that are solid, heads down building, and they're not building for memes. They're not building for this. They're building for infrastructure utility plays. And I think that stuff gets released in 2025. You have like Nintendo, like they just released the indexer. That's a huge deal, right? And so now that allows centralized exchanges to list tokens like Nook and the Bell 20 tokens to maybe stir some stuff up, right? So I just think that like it's easy to get, especially in our space, to get your mind share captured by what's hot in front of your face. And I'm not saying AI is just temporary, because it's not. It's going to be a longevity play, but it can definitely like make you make some emotional decisions. And I think that's what you were hinting at right there.
Yeah, basically it's, I mean, and look, none of us, and I don't know if anybody on earth truly has this sort of thing figured out, but it's this weird mix of like attention and value and all these sort of things. And when let's just take Bells specifically, right? When you come into Bells, and Bells has been going now for more than a year, people come, they buy the underlying token, so they buy Bells, then Nook happens, they get a bunch of Nook, the inscriptions happen, they inscribe a bunch, so they're kind of like deployed into the ecosystem, right? So that's like happened, right? And we have that community of people who are hardcore believers in Bells, right? And so we have that, right? And we have people actually building this core underlying infrastructure. That's happening. But now you have attention moved to somewhere else, right? So attention has gone to AI, clearly, obviously, or meme coins, right? So the attention's been sucked out. But you still have all this stuff that's taken place, all this building that's happened, right? But what you need like a new wave of people coming in. And I've tried to like express it to the community. They're not coming in to mint runes. Like, it's not going to happen, right? I mean, people are going to mint runes. Runes is going to happen, I don't know, next week. Runes is going to be available on Bells. But are people like outside of the Bells ecosystem going to come into Bells to mint runes? Like, that's not going to happen. There's no way. They're not going on to Bitcoin to mint runes. Like, that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you regenerate or bring new people into the ecosystem to kind of to get people excited again about Bell's coin, what's happening, and that sort of thing. And that's a bigger issue that I think just takes time. You just have to. The narrative's the same. The reason we all kind of fell in love with Bell's coin is the same. We just need to get it to a wider audience. And right now, the crypto audience is not interested. They don't give a shit. Right now, they are interested in how they can turn $100 into $50,000 this afternoon on the latest meme coin or the latest AI coin. Like, that's all they care about, for good reason. Like, of course, because there is no opportunity like that in Bell's coin right now. There's no opportunity anywhere else in crypto really to do that. There's certainly nothing in the the Bitcoin ecosystem to do that. Like, there's Litecoin or anything in the UTXO ecosystem right now that has that kind of possibility, right? Because all the attention, I mean, look on crypto Twitter, dude, it's like 70% of the mind share is on the AI play right now. So so the community kind of eats itself. Like, why? It's like, bro, why? It's super clear because the attention's there, and so I try to tell people, like, look, man, just chill a little bit. Like Shizzy with his, Bitcoin bags in the summer of 2020. Chill, man, chill. Because there's nothing else to do. You can't, to beat ourselves up like we've done something wrong or that we've failed. We haven't failed. We haven't done anything wrong. Attention has moved to a different location, but attention, as we all know, rotates back around the crypto ecosystem. And we just need to keep building things, keep being interested, keep telling the story why this is an interesting, cool narrative. And dude, it'll rotate back. I have zero question about that.
Yeah. Retail's not here. Traditional retail, right? And so, I mean, because let's be real, like when retail comes, a lot of it's new people that just want to turn $1 into 100, 100 into 1,000, 1,000 into 10. Those are the type of, I think during that period, Bells will probably be able to thrive because at that point, there's what's new, what can I get into that's newer, or Bell's stories, it's revived. But then it'll probably be on more centralized exchanges that those group of people, the masses, will have access to, right? Like that's a Robinhood or a Coinbase, a Binance, a OKX, those kind of things. And so I think we all agree that time will come. It's just not right now because those people don't even know how to open a MetaMask. They don't know how to get to virtuals. The people that virtuals is hot, but it's hot with people that know how to do DeFi stuff. So we're still like in an early period, like where I think what Shizzy was talking about is a great correlation of DeFi summer to this kind of AI winter. It's people that have experienced smart, like I'm not saying smart enough, but enough knowledge, I guess you would say, to get to that next level. And that's not when the entire crypto market cap goes, bonkers. That when that happens, it's like the everyday person is trying to flip $1 into 10.
That's right. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. It's just the way it is. But I know, I mean, you guys probably feel the same way. I feel kind of the same way too, that you feel like you're just missing out, right? And that's FOMO. And that's what actually takes like AI and lifts it from whatever 50 or 60% mind share and pushes it to like 90% mind share, where it just consumes the entire timeline. And my gut, we had a good talk with Leo yesterday. He was on our show yesterday, and he's like, "Be prepared." He's like, because you saw it with NFTs. NFTs in 21 did this exact thing. They completely blew up. They went crazy up until like the end of May, early June, and then they completely shit the bed. And the general consensus was NFTs were stupid. This was the dumbest thing ever. We've been basically tricked, right, into believing that you can own digital items on the blockchain. This was all dumb. It literally crashed in June of 2021. And then in August, it completely melted faces. Like it was unbelievable. What happened in August of 2021, it like just rocket shipped. And I think we'll probably have something similar happen with AI. I mean, we're already seeing like the first things of it on the time. Oh, AI is stupid. There's no use cases. This is dumb. Coins are dumb. Why would you attach, a token to your AI agent? It makes no sense. Blah, blah, blah. It's all happening now. The first like things of like why it will crash. I'm sure there's going to be this massive correction of AI agents. And then we'll actually hit like the real AI agent, bull run where it goes really parabolic. That's what it feels
And that's
like.
exactly going back to my DeFi summer thing. That's exactly what happened during DeFi summer, right? It crashed hard, and then we had a couple months of Bitcoin waiting for Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin went up to 20K, and then eventually to 40, and that's when everything came back. But then DeFi was different at that point as well. It was more mature, and I think the same thing's going to happen with these AI agents. Right now, I have a big problem with AI agents because I'm someone who uses ChatGPT every couple hours, right? Like that. I don't Google anything anymore. I use ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has all these built-in GPT bots, right? That the English professors created, guys from NASA have created. Huge. Like, why would I want to make something when there's guys who are already professionals in this industry have already made their own bots, and I can use them, and I can even add to them information that maybe hasn't been added yet. So to me, it's like your AI bot's cool, but ChatGPT is better. Beat ChatGPT, and then I'll be interested.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I guess AI XBT is okay. AI XBT is kind of dominating the timeline, and
Yeah.
for anybody who's like AI is stupid, I'm like, bro, come on, man, you got to have a better argument than that because we went from AI XBT not existing to literally being the #1 influencer on crypto Twitter. I mean, everybody's tagging it, everybody's reaching out to the bot. I mean, dude, that's your clear example that just that one little section of AI agents, which is basically KOLs or influencers, it's already happened, right? We have proof.
Happening, yeah.
It's happening. That we have proof. It happened. It's happening. So they're not only going to get better. They're not going to get worse, right? But that said, we have a bunch of others which have crazy market caps, like I don't know, Zebro or whatever, which their AI agent actually sucks. Like it actually, like you interface with this thing on Twitter. Like, dude, I muted that thing. Like it's the dumbest. Like this sucks, and it has a $600 million market cap. Okay, so there are these massive, crazy inefficiencies in the market, right? But there's definitely something there. Like there's no doubt. I have no doubt there's something there. Will 99% of it be total garbage and go to 0? 100%. Yes, definitely. But there is something there specifically for the KOLs. There's something definitely. And this is the place that, emblems, the space emblems working in, which is just like this, they would call it a wallet abstraction layer. That's what the devs would call it. I call it just like, how do people interface with crypto? How do normies want to interface with crypto? None of us wants to have fucking an Xverse and a MetaMask and a Tron wallet. And we don't want all that, man. We don't even want seed phrases. We just want to be able to buy and sell shit and move it around. And that is actually like the agent's superpower. Like we're already playing around in that space. And that's the thing that like, I think, obviously Emblem's thrown our hat in the ring. And if it works for Emblem, like, bro, you guys are going to be visiting my private island, bro. Cause it's just like, it's going to be transformational, dude. It's going to be transformational that you don't even think about it. Your DeFi or your staking or whatever, you just set your agent to do it for you. And it just kind of does it. Or you need to pay Yago, hey man, send him 1 soul, and it just sends it. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to figure out which wallet, where. It just happens. Like, and I think that is like, for me, that gets me super excited. And that's why I'm super deep down the rabbit hole now. Cause that's like, that changes crypto. And so that's what I'm super bullish on.
That beats ChatGPT.
So
right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the difference. That's the big difference. And that's what's going to get me to want to be like, okay, that's it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's like,
well, those,
go ahead. I was just going to say, that's like the thing that will make people money. I mean, obviously money's the main, everyone's like, oh, I want an agent that trades for me. Like, do I think a trading agent will be able to make everybody on crypto Twitter rich? Absolutely not, right? Will it be able to execute some strategies for you? Like the simplest ones, dollar cost averaging in and out. Like, will it be able to take away that sort of thing? Absolutely. Like, yes, 100%. Right. And that's, I think what we're focusing on is that kind of very simple use cases to begin with. But just to give you guys the kind of larger perspective, it's like all your crypto, all your wallets, everything managed by an AI agent. I think that is something that, everybody's going to want to use that.
Yeah. And I think people are impressed right now with what AI XBT's done, because they're kind of raising their eyebrows and being like, okay, companies even like, how can I utilize this for marketing, or how can I, get my project more attention? So that was the biggest thing, because I've never seen like the swarm mentality of tagging an AI on Twitter, like the way that they talk to it like he's like the smartest person in the world. And they're just like, hey, they want approval almost from AI XBT, right? And so that's very, very interesting. But I wonder, have you heard anything from like the Bells developers on AI, or are they just kind of heads down trying to, solidify this, I guess, like, this chain and stuff like that? Or are they trying to maybe play with the idea of integrating some sort of AI into the ecosystem?
I don't think, from my personal view, I don't feel like it's actually a great strategy for a chain to be like an AI chain. For me, it doesn't make sense, because really AIs are running on your computer or your server. The coins themselves, okay, are on different chains, but being like I know some, L1s are like leaning in, to be that kind of like an AI just because it's hot. I mean, let's be clear.
Yeah.
They're just being like, let me just be the AI chain. I don't think that makes much sense. But I think that anybody who's looking to garner attention using an AI agent is a smart play, at least right now. And for that, we've actually had an AI in our Discord. Somebody built out a Tom Nook AI in our Discord like months ago, like, I don't know, 6 months ago. And they're actually going to launch it on Twitter as its own agent, just to, drive interest. And
I like that.
think I actually think that's a really smart strategy for brands and stuff to do. And obviously that's what we're doing with Agent Hustle, where it's like you need this kind of like front facing AI so that people can see. For us, it's so people can see your underlying tech. But for projects or whatever, like you guys might want to think about getting one, right? Where it's just like this thing becomes like your kind of front facing additional KOL. Like, I mean, the reality is none of us in the attention business can outperform an AI agent, right? It's really hard to build one that actually is engaging and that people actually want to, chat with. Most of them are garbage. But that's the thing. Like, these are going to get so much better. It's just going to be, they're going to be better than you and me. I mean, let's just be clear. They're already better writer. Your chat GPT that you use is already a better writer than 99% of people on earth. Right. And in a year, it's going to be better than almost all but a handful of writers. Right. And to think, like, I don't know if you saw what YouTube's doing with their new models. Bro, if you don't think it's coming to video and audio, if it's going to be better than the best, content producers on the planet. Like, I just intuitively know that that's going to happen. And when you can have an AI agent, which can customize the KOL experience for every human on the planet, like if I write to whatever YouTube's KOL, its response can be customized to me. How the hell can a regular person compete in the social media game against that? I think we're at this stage where I don't know what's going to happen with social media, but it's going to be massively different in 5 years than it is now. I just don't know how we're going to be interacting. This is kind of like my broader thesis of how AI is going to be transformational. But we're already seeing it, dude. I mean, we're already seeing it. It's just, we are living in very fucking interesting times.
We're gonna need
bonkers, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna need Neuralinks. Every
Dude.
human's gonna need a Neuralink. That's the only way we're gonna be able to compete. We're all gonna need our own internal
Yes,
AI.
I know. We will each need, every single one of us needs our own fucking AI agent, just to filter the internet for us. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to happen, dude. Like, how am I even supposed to process this? How am I supposed to know what's true? How am I supposed to know what's real? Bro, the age of deepfakes is completely upon us. Yeah, this is I mean, that's part of the reason I'm really bullish on like open source AIs that are being built, because I do feel like we need, basically freedom fighters, like individuals building individual AIs that we control, that we have power over and autonomy over. I think it's actually like super critical.
Yeah.
Just to keep us like human, just to prevent the I don't know, open AI from running everything. If I don't know if you guys heard when David Sachs was talking, or not David Sachs, when who was it? Was talking about, it was Andreessen, Mark Andreessen. Did you guys see that interview with him where he talked about going to DC and basically, a couple of politicians were like, actually, we want to control all the AI so that we as
I heard about that. Yeah.
can basically run this entire thing. And I'm like, God damn. That's the reason he basically backed Trump. He was like, how can we keep, I mean, you just see AI, if AI isn't in the hand of individuals, if it's controlled by a couple of people, bro, we're done. We're toast, man.
Yep.
So, yeah. I don't know.
I
We're way
agree.
fucking off topic, man. But AI, look, this is the meta this cycle. I'm telling you guys with like, I have full certainty, because it just mixes, like NFTs mixed. Oh, well, we could do gaming, or we could do metaverse, but it was all this like what's possible. Like the AI agents, it's happening right now. Like it's happening as we speak, and we need to like control this thing. And I think crypto has a really, really unique place where we can attract like world-class devs, because they want to come to crypto, because they can make a ton of money in crypto, and we can actually lead how AI agents are built and interact like in the future. I think we have actually a really incredible opportunity here.
Yeah, I agree. I think
I'm
it's very
overwhelming
interesting.
the AI stuff. I'm sorry, man, but it's something.
No, you're
great.
good. You're good.
This is like transformational stuff. I'm excited, man.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it can actually end up helping the UTXO ecosystem. But first, I think there needs to be a universal, maybe virtual machine type of protocol that they all have some, I guess similar languages and stuff that they can use. But with that being said, I didn't know the answer to this, but you might. So with Cat 20 developing this Dex, let's say there's OPCat on like SHA-256 UTXO chain and OPCat on a script UTXO chain. Can they interact, or do they have to both be the same?
As far as I know, and obviously this is going to happen probably this month on Bells, right? We'll get OPCat fully live, and the script guys can actually like, launch it or fully integrate it. So I think what we're going to see, I'm hopeful, what we'll see is we'll see kind of the first implementation, which is like, okay, how do these things work cross-chain? How do they work between Fractal and Bells coin? How does this work? Right? Because it's all for me right now, it's like hypothetical. It's like as far as my understanding goes, like you'll need to, you're basically wrapping it and bringing it back and forth between, say it's on Fractal now, and there are a bunch of Cat 20 tokens on Fractal now. You'll be able to bring them over onto Bells. Now, once you do that, like, can you make the same coins? I don't know exactly how that works as far as like not duplicating coins and that sort of thing. But I'm hopeful. I really hope
it works the same way as Ethereum. So it has a contract address. So you can create 500 atoms, doesn't matter, but you're going to grab the contract address that you want. So that would be the difference.
Yeah, that's my understanding. So it's basically social consensus for which one's the real one or the right one or whatever, right? So we're pretty good in crypto at figuring that out, which is cool. So I can launch anyone I want. I can launch the Atom, Cat 20 token, even though an Atom's already been done on Fractal, even though 20 have already been done on Bells.
Yeah.
Right. And that becomes social consensus decides which is the real one. Right.
Yeah.
And then they just transfer back and forth. Right. Bro, if that happened, and I'm, these guys have made me confident that it will happen. What that means, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I just think we have to, like, the idea is that, okay, well, then you can take those tokens, mint them on Bitcoin, basically, because you want it on, the mother chain. And then it's going to be a battle between, do people want to do these transactions on Bell's coin? Do they want to do them on Fractal? Do they want to do them on, I don't know. Are they going to roll out Doge? I don't know if that's even really possible, but I think they're going to try. They want to do it on Doge? And then it just, may the best chain win, right? Then it just becomes like an attention game and, a builder game, really. Yeah, that's when it gets really exciting. But I think, the can it work between Bells and Fractal? That's going to be like the first kind of thing. Let's see if it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I definitely think the UTXO ecosystem, the chains ecosystem, they need to be able to somewhat compete from a tech stack standpoint, and they just don't right now from the EVM comparison. You know what I mean? Or even like the Rust on Solana. So whatever helps with that and makes that experience more smooth, and then you can start thinking about these creative narratives and stuff, right? So wasn't there a protocol that launched on Litecoin that was kind of getting popular at one point, and it was something about like
The privacy.
privacy? Yeah.
Yeah. So they have what they call Mimblewimble. They've
Yes.
rebranded it, rightly so, to VPM, Virtual Private Money, VPM,
Yeah.
which is a much better name. And so, yeah, they have that. So in theory, similar sort of thing. Like Bells could implement that pretty quickly if we wanted to. Similar sort of thing where if you wanted to basically make your Bitcoin anonymous, in theory, you would be able to, bring it over trustlessly, mix it, or I don't know if you call it mix it, but make it anonymous and bring it back to a new wallet, like something like that. Like you could do that sort of thing. Obviously, it's a very good use case. So we'll see. We'll see if that. I mean, yeah, Litecoin. I don't think Litecoin. I'd be surprised if the script guys did anything on Litecoin. I just don't think there's really the appetite, man. I think most people on Litecoin, who I know, and I don't know quite a few people, they just look at it as money, right? It's like Litecoin's money. We've solved that thing. I think they have the most transactions, like just regular straight monetary, transactions of almost like any blockchain. And it's like, I just don't feel like there's the appetite to do kind of the crazy stuff on Litecoin. While on
Gotcha.
Bells, it's like do anything, or even on Dogecoin with Doginals and stuff. Like there's more of an appetite to kind of experiment. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think for me, I've been in a bunch of discussions. We had Amir Taki on the show, who's like this legendary Bitcoin dev, super, privacy focused guy. And we talked about it a bunch, and I just don't think people give a shit about privacy. They just
Well,
don't,
privacy does matter though, right? Because like if
100%.
let's just say I buy like a Jordan card off you, like a tangible card, and I send you Bitcoin. I don't want you knowing how much Bitcoin I have,
100%, bro.
right? Because obviously I have to go into my vault and kind of send that out of there. Do I feel like sending to 9 different wallets for I send to use, make you have a hard time tracking it? I don't want to do that, but I also don't want you to know how much Bitcoin I have. I don't want you to know how much in my bank account. So for me, it's like we do need to solve that. But like I'm not trying to hide it from the IRS. I'm just trying to hide it from my friend. Like,
No,
you know what I mean?
so,
Like,
bro, a million. Look, I'm with you. And when I'm talking to Amir, I'm like, bro, I'm with you 1,000,000%. Like,
Yeah.
it's impossible for me to. I'm a fucking libertarian. I see how these governments are evil just at the top layer, regardless of like every single person on earth not knowing how much money you have and that risk that is associated with that. I'm 1,000,000% with you. I just don't think it currently, because honestly, because we're all so comfortable, and we're kind of spoiled in the West, that there's like this drive for it in the same way that there's drive for the latest meme coin or the latest AI agent. There's just not like this. People won't go out of their way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's absolutely critical for that crypto solves this, right? Absolutely. I just think people aren't going to go out of their way to do it. So, I don't think what I'm trying to say is I don't think it's like a selling point for why, somebody's going to use basically Litecoin I think people just use Litecoin because they like it. It's digital silver, whatever the narrative is. They think it might go up. They've got a great intern running their, Twitter account now. But those are the reasons why people buy Litecoin rather than, VPM. Even though I'm, I'd love it. And I think, Bitcoin should fucking solve it on the Bitcoin layer. Like, please.
Yeah.
You know?
So VPM, for people who don't know, it's another coin running on Litecoin.
No, it's not a coin. It's basically a protocol, which
Protocol.
it's at
okay,
like
some websites would use it. Okay.
Yeah, it's at like a protocol level of basically what we would call maybe mixing of coins.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They earn fees.
It's basically within the Litecoin network itself, so it's like same sort of thing and stuff, but it's not anything separate. It's built right into Litecoin.
So you get to choose, like if I send Yagobi a transaction, I get to choose if I want to go through Mimblewimble or VPM.
Exactly.
Or normal Litecoin. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I believe. It's like I think one guy said it nicely. It's like it's not privacy. Like Monero is 100% private. Right?
Yeah.
Like everything on Monero is private. Okay. It's not that. He says what it's like is like a house with windows, right? You can see in the house, but if the person doesn't want to be seen in the house, they can step out of view of the window, right? So that's kind of like an explanation of the way it works. Like if you want it and you want to use it, you can use it. So I think the general consensus is, most people are not doing all their transactions on Litecoin in private, but you can if you want. It's there. For guys like Amir, it's like they want 100%. And the problem is we bump up against these regulatory agencies where, they'll delist your coin, right? So you can't even where are you going to buy Monero right now? It's like just shit. You've really got to go out of your way, right? And so I think, I think Bells and our devs, what they've told me is like they're not going to do something that makes Bells foundationally private, because then you basically get delisted from exchanges, right?
Yeah.
You just make it an add-on where people can use the tech if they want to, either through ZKs or whatever they're going to use to make their transactions private. But you can't you basically you put a target on your back if you make the entire chain transactionally private.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is like for Ethereum, like if you want to use like Tornado Cash, right? You still can. You can. There's no website, but you can still mess with the smart contract itself. But then you can't send that to exchanges because they'll so it's like, yeah.
I know, man. I mean, look, I'm that kind of thing, and look, Tornado Cash. I think those guys won, maybe the first kind of portion of their lawsuit, and so hopefully they win the rest of it as well. Yeah, it's just, I mean, dude, if you're somebody who believes in freedom, and most people in crypto these days kind of tend to don't, but it's just, this is a no-brainer. We need this as humans to remain free. We need this sort of technology. And so I'm all about guys we're pushing for it for sure.
Yep. So there was some news in the UTXO ecosystem about a coin that is a part of the merge mining, that an old whale had woken, the old Kraken, I guess, and decided to sell down its coins and brought the price down tremendously. Talking about Lucky Coin. I'm sure that there were some crossover communities members between Bells and Lucky and stuff like that. So first, does this worry you of any possibility for something like this to happen to Bells? And how do you feel about like the sentiment of the community after that?
Just to I think the whole Lucky attack Bells about it being pre-mined and said that sort of thing was really, it was so negative to not only to Bells, but negative to Lucky Coin in the end, because what they did was they created, a couple of guys in our community who just wanted to rip them to shreds. And, I personally tried to chill out those people and be like, look, it's not worth it to battle between, communities like this. And that's kind of played out. Lucky and certain people in the Bells community battled so hard that became the entire narrative of both communities. And I think that was super negative. I think it I saw it in the NFT community, the historical NFT community, where it basically made anybody entering that community thinking like, oh, wow, historical NFTs, this is kind of cool. What's going on here? And the first thing they saw was two different communities crapping on each other. People just didn't want to be a part of it. And I tried to make that clear to people, but you know what? There's nothing I can do, man. Everybody just want to, they feel like they've been wronged or slighted, and so they attack each other. And so I think it was super negative. It's going to take a while to get over it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you just have to like cleanse that. That has to like go away. And I think for people who bought into Lucky, I think the negative aspect of that was, look, there were always the wallets. I don't know if we talked about it in this show or it was another show where I was like, dude, wallets are I know from experience that, wallets that are dormant or never waking up, bro, when there's money on the line, wallets wake up. People find those old seeds. And sure enough, I don't know, some guys came back who had, I don't know how many millions of Lucky tokens. And, when that happens, what happens? I mean, it's just nature, so
Yeah.
that was kind of, the way it was. But dude, that's kind of understood from the beginning. Like you're going to get that sort of stuff. Yeah, I think the main thing that happened was that there was something about, and I don't know the technical details because I didn't look into it too much, but there was something about the block that they restarted the chain on. They had trimmed a bunch of transactions, and somehow some of those transactions, I believe, or some of those wallets were able to basically do what like a replay attack or reinstitute transactions that had already happened. I don't know the technical details of it. The only reason I kind of know about it was when Ethereum was upgrading from proof of work to proof of stake. There was concern about this, what they call a replay attack, where something happens on the original proof of work chain can be replayed on the proof of stake chain. It's the only reason I know about it. And so apparently maybe a couple of those transactions had happened as well, which I don't know the technical details. And so, but again, that just creates more kind of like FUD around the ecosystem, which, is bad for Lucky holders. And, do I feel good about that? I don't know. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people were buying into that. They like the narrative of it. And I think the whole thing, frankly, stinks on the way both communities attacked each other. And, people say, well, Lucky started it. Fine. But you kept it going. Right. And that, you had to kind of be a bigger person to let it go. But I understand people get hurt and they feel slighted, and people are people, man. It's the way it is. Somebody hits you, you want to hit them back. And so I get it. But it was super negative for both communities in my view.
Yeah, man. I agree. It is what it is at the end of the day. Lucky's going to be here for a long time because it's being merge mined. Bell's going to be here forever because it's being merge mined, because it's free money when you're doing Doge and Litecoin, right? And there will always be people doing Doge and Litecoin. So these communities are going to be here forever. They're going to grow bigger. They're going to grow stronger. But people invest in things that they can look forward to stuff, right? And I see a lot of stuff with Bells that I can actually look forward to. One you mentioned already, which is Runes. I think you said that's like next week, right?
Yeah,
and then
it's
the
like
other one,
I don't know. I think I don't know, just a few days away, really.
few days away.
Yeah, I did look it up. You are going to need to run like an Ord client, so you're going to have the full. It's going to be like early days. It's not going to be like you can go to Nintendo and etch these. So you're going to have to be like a bit of a dev to figure it out. I'm not going to take part in it because I just don't have the time. But I'm sure people will, because it's the idea of again getting in early, and it's going to be cheap, right? To etch these things on Bells is going to be near free. So I'm sure people will etch millions of these things, and no doubt.
Do you know if they're sticking to Casey's rules? It's going to be stupid 13-letter tickers.
I think I'm not 100% certain. Not 100% certain what they're doing. They may have modified it to make it smaller. That would make sense, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, that was yeah, we could debate that all day. There's usually never perfect rollouts, and I don't think it was the worst thing in the world. But But anyway,
Are,
yeah,
are you guys getting pushback from like the community because they have they might say, well, we have Bell 20, we don't need runes standard?
not really. Not really. I think in these sort of cases, it's just the natural evolution. People like, why isn't it happening? Right? If it's already happened,
Yeah.
why is it happening? So I think that's fine. You know, it's just the growth of the ecosystem. I mean, it's already on. I think they have dunes right on Dogecoin. So you know,
Yeah.
is anybody interested in it? Is anybody trading them? Not really. Will they in the future? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there's no. I don't have any problem with people, you know, building new stuff. The kind of idea of like endless tokens, though, obviously, just at some point, just people run out of funds and attention. I think one of the interesting things, and I don't know if you guys know this yet, though, but Nintendo is going to be basically including the entire Doge ecosystem in Nintendo. So you're going to be able to trade Doge in Nintendo. You're going to be able to, you know, have your Doginals in Nintendo and stuff. So it's basically going to be both ecosystems in Nintendo, which I think is really pretty awesome. These guys are amazing.
Yeah, I actually think all this is bullish for Bitcoin because if you think about it, like now you have Fractal that has runes and BRC 20s. Then you have Bells that has Bell 20 and runes coming, and you have Doge that has DRC 20s and runes. So it's almost kind of like, when these L2s or these EVM chains just followed everything Ethereum did, and then that kind of built out this whole ecosystem. So that is one thing that is good to see consistency in, that it's happening in other chains. So that's a good start, in my opinion, to say, okay, they're mimicking what Bitcoin is doing.
Yep. Yeah. I think for me, at the end of the day, when things get copied to new chains, that means it's somewhat successful, right? So Ordinals obviously was a big thing. Ordinals kicked it all off. It got copied on basically every chain. They could do if you could do
even
it.
EVM.
Even EVM, right? Exactly, bro. Now, does that mean those things really hold value? We've seen that no, they basically don't, right? And even tend to hold. It's hard to hold value even on Bitcoin, right? But it kind of proves the narrative, and so we're seeing the same thing right now with AI agents. Like literally, it's every blockchain on Earth. If they don't have it, they're going to have it in two months. Like right, so it's kind of splaying out. This is when you have a winner. But then what needs to happen is you have to some developer or some team or some dude in his closet has to come up with something that makes it interesting to use in some way or do something with. And we really haven't seen that. And so the reality is that people are trying and does generate some interest. I mean, a perfect example is T.O. Pizza Pets, right? It's actually super successful. Like he did an amazing job, right? Tons of transactions, tons of interest. But it was basically people who are already there, kind of doing something already there, right? That's not to say you shouldn't do it. You absolutely should. And it's a success and shows use cases and stuff like that. But the reality is it didn't bring anybody new kind of in. Like nobody joining Ordinals to take part in the Pizza Pets, right? It really, my gut feeling is that you really have to have something which brings new people in. And Ordinals did that to some degree, right? Brought a lot of people from, Ethereum over and, from Solana over and shit. Even we had people from fucking Cardano coming over.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a super transformational thing. And that's just really, that's really hard to do. Not to say it can't, but the foundation's laid. So we'll see, what kind of happens over the next, 6 months and stuff. As who knows what it is, dude. There's a real possibility. I'm not sharing any alpha here, but like, look, can AI agents be contained in an NFT? Let's just put out like some simple idea like that. Can you? Because what if an AI agent, the core of the agent, could be controlled by an NFT? You could trade AI agents. What happens there? Is that
true?
interesting? And if that's true, then wouldn't you want your
Wow.
AI agent to be stored on Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, which I'm not going to say who's working on that, but if you could do something like that, that brings interest to, Bitcoin, right?
And that I
So
think that's a better approach to the metaverse too, populating the metaverse instead of just creating AI code for all these NPCs. But if they're NFTs, then you get participants that I might have 10 NFTs in the metaverse just roaming around or something, so that are AI agents. So yeah, it's very, very, very interesting with that, So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a couple more things here I just want to get into. So Nintendo seems to be the leader over there right now, the leading builder, but they just dropped we're starting 2025 strong with the release of the Bell 20 indexer. So now for the first time, you could see Nook on exchanges because
Yep.
now the indexer is out there, anyone can run it, and it is, can you speak more on this?
Yeah, they basically open source the indexer. And so to give everybody a little bit of context, the indexer, so you saw with Ordinals first, and then the next use case was actually Litecoin, but third most important was Dogecoin. And when the indexer, there were basically two competing teams who were building out indexers, and they were basically both closed source. And when that happened, what you got was basically the indexers didn't work with each other, didn't talk to each other, and actually got completely different, assets on different indexers, and basically rugged people. So you bought it on one indexer and the other indexer didn't see it. You basically rugged yourself, right? Because one indexer basically won, the other kind of faded away. And so early days of Bell's Coin, when Yar and the team at Nintendo started saying, hey, we're going to work on building out our own indexer, Luke and I pushed really hard. Look, you guys, you have to make this open source, build it. And you see the reason for not making it open source is basically you can control all the market and stuff. But they realized smartly that if they didn't do that, somebody else would build another indexer. And then you basically kill the entire market. Because if the indexers don't work properly together, you basically screw people. Somebody's going to lose money. And it crushed all momentum on Doginals. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it killed the momentum on Doginals. And so, Yar is obviously a brilliant guy. He saw it and understood it when we expressed it to him. And so they finally, after fixing all the bugs and, working through this thing, which you guys probably know now too, building an indexer is really fucking hard. It's a really, really hard thing to do. But yeah, they got it done. It's open source now. I'm sure they'll continue working on it and making it better. But from what everybody tells me, it's an incredible, fast and lightweight indexer that can not only be used by existing teams in the exchanges and stuff in the Bell's ecosystem, but actually could be basically forked and used in other ecosystems. So I wouldn't be stunned if this actually starts getting used in maybe the Doge ecosystem or in other ecosystems that can basically use the code. So that's obviously a huge win for Bells. But it's just great to have something that's now open source so that, in the future, if something, obviously I think non-KYC is going to, have Nook on there. Ordinal wallet guys are going to, finally get their shit fixed. And, it just creates an ecosystem that has the potential to thrive because the indexer itself is open source and can be used. I mean, it's just, it's foundational and super glad that it finally happened.
Are they building something similar for Runes? Does Runes need one?
It'll kind of be the same. I'm sure it'll be
Okay.
kind of the same thing. Yeah. But at the start, as I said, it's going to be very, you and me
connected to the Ord.
Yeah. We're not going to be doing Runes. You have to be a dev. And if there are people who are interested in it, just jump in the Discord. They've got the dev channel going up there, with people already setting up to, to min out the first ones and stuff or etch the first ones. That definitely
opens opportunity though, right? Somebody can hop in there and build this like launch pad or minter or something like that. So that's one thing that's amazing about these chains is there's so much opportunity for builders. Builders have the right away here to go in and make fees.
I mean, that's the thing we've seen. Like the people who really make money, other than the miners, were the ones who got in early doing the minting or the etching or the whatever, right? The ordinal wallet guys, with ordinals, like, making
Luminex.
Luminex, like, yeah, just making, $500,000, $1 million in a few weeks with fees and stuff. So yeah, 100%, man. And if there are any builders out there listening to this who are like, yeah, I can do that because they have experience with runes on Bitcoin or whatever, just hit me up. I'll hook you up with the devs and we'll get you running for sure. Yeah.
Amen. So there's two more things. The next thing here would be OPCat. Could you tell us maybe the day or any updates with that whatsoever?
I don't have a day. I actually probably don't even really have an update since the last time we talked. It's still this month is the goal, but the way devs work, try not to put a date on it. It may be later,
Gotcha.
My gut says with devs, it's always later, but the way it goes.
Yeah.
But
And-
definitely
and then-
excited and excited for the script team to come in and get.
That's going to be huge. Like once you get those, I mean, obviously runes are cool, but like you don't need an indexer for OPCat tokens. And we've already seen that with Fractal. It's kind of being ran by the
by the miners.
miners.
Chain.
Yeah, they're the miners.
That's,
yeah,
I mean, it's kind of who was I talking to the other day? Somebody on the timeline, and we were going through, just the idea of, actually, if you saw Punk 6529 had a tweet that kind of blew up as people got into this ordinals versus ETH NFTs kind of on-chain, off-chain debate kind of went viral on the timeline. And, part of the conversations I had were around, hey, what Cat 20 tokens can be, and this idea of where you don't have these indexers, right? Where the miners themselves become like the execution layer. I think it's really interesting, and I think it feels like a better way. It feels like a better way. Again, until we have it like implemented and working, that's still feelings and ideas, but it feels like this is a much more closely tied to the chain itself layer of tokens than anything else, right? That's what it feels like it'll be, right? Something that's basically you can have order books. Anybody can set up the order book because the order book's controlled by the miners. Well, shit, that feels a lot more like base level Bitcoin or base level Bells coin than anything else, right? So yeah, it's exciting, bro. I mean, like if that actually hits, like this may be the fungible token standard that actually wins, so
Yep.
right. I mean,
And
it
then-
feels like it.
Yeah, 100%. I think the OPCat tokens are going to win. They're going to be the winners if and when. But that's the thing too, is like now we have a new standard, and now we got the devs have to create a new way to make fees.
Dude,
Right?
it's got to like work, right? It's got to work. It's got to, well, how do I have them in my wallet? Like nobody's really answered that for me yet. It's just like, do I use the regular Nintendo wallet or do I get like a special, right? All those kind of like foundational layers that need to happen. Like we got to see them happen first,
Well, Unisat does display the the Cat 20 tokens balances and stuff. So if Nintendo could fork whatever they've done, then it should be possible to reflect the balances and all that stuff. But
yeah,
I just don't know if I think there would definitely be like a big war between the inner circles of the Bitcoin ecosystem, right? Like the people that are big, everybody's big on runes in the West there. I don't think they want to let go of their bags, especially, let's be honest, if that happened, I think that Leo would probably be one of the first people that would be like, hey, like runes can't go away, because he's been like advocating for dog for so long. I almost wonder what that would look like. Now, first we'd have to get OPCat to Bitcoin and all that stuff. So I think we're a ways away from that, though.
Totally.
So maybe these other chains can create like something that actually could get their on-chain economies going, and they're working together. So that might be better to see it work with them first.
I think, at the end of the day, it's like the best tech doesn't always win. We know that with certainty, right? So even if it were, let's just say, hypothetical, Cat 20 is way better, It's way better. And Bitcoin actually enables it, at the end of this year. Does that mean it automatically wins? Hell fucking no, right? Because just attention is so hard to generate. So, I think for runes and part of what Emblem is betting on is we feel like runes will be the winner. But to be the winner, this infrastructure build up has to take place where people can actually trade the things easily, right? It's not friendly to normies right now. So, what, I don't know, man. It's one of these big questions that's going to be out there as to whether or not Cat 20 wins. Could it? Absolutely, it could. But will it? I don't know, man. I mean, what was I looking the other day? I was like, oh shit. Oh, it was Tap. Tap was people were giving it like I can't even trade my whatever the nodes. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you guys were
the validators.
Sorry, validators, right? People on the timeline. Joe, I can't even, rug. It's a rug. It's a fucking scam. All I know is that like that's like, where do you trade them? Where do you buy and sell? How do you do all this sort of stuff? Like the foundational stuff that's needed is not easy to do. It takes time, right, to build out that infrastructure. And if they sold a bunch of these, but you can't really trade them, bro, people get pissed and they get pissed fast, and then they leave, and then you don't have any community. And like, I just know it's really hard to do this stuff, man, really hard. And so like, is Tap better? Probably is better, right? Do they have a better strategy and everything? Probably. But if enough people don't buy in and get behind you and aren't willing to put up with some bullshit, it's very possible you die, so crypto's
Tap's not better at
savage.
all because Tap still has, transfer inscriptions.
Yeah.
Like I will never, like, I hate transfer inscriptions. Like I hate them, like with a passion, right? Like I trade all my BRC20s on Merlin, like, for that exact reason. And it's just like, so the Tap's not going to win unless they get rid of the transcription problem and stuff like that. So I don't know. I to me, like, Tap's just a worse version of Ordinals.
Yeah.
BRC20s. So
it's all I know is it's fucking hard, man. It's hard, and even if I don't know how much Benny raised, a lot, but it's very possible that it doesn't exist in 3 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so look, at the end of the day, crypto is like this amazing free market thing where if you don't perform well, you get sent to zero. That's it. Fucking zero.
Put up or shut up. Yeah.
Put up or shut up. End of the fucking day is if your number doesn't go up, I'm fucking out. Right. And it's just the way it is. And so look, we're all battling BRC20s, runes, bells, fractal. It's savage out here. Right. And so, there's no easy way. And you just got to keep battling and hope you come out the other side, and hopefully you can make an impact and win. And if you win, you're a millionaire. And if you're not, you're on the fucking street. Out with you. You know what I mean?
I hate that part. I hate that part of our industry. That's why you gotta have a business and actually have passion for it and stuff. Like we have a show, so we have passion. We show up and we care about our community and stuff. But man, some of these traders out there, I feel for them because it is like that. Let me ask you: do you think what % chance do you think we could experience a counterparty 2.0 with like what happened with their fungible tokens?
The chance is super low, bro. Super low.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Counterparty. Obviously rare Pepes are huge. I mean, do I think rare Pepes are going anywhere? No, I think it's probably after Punks, maybe Punks, Bored Apes, and rare Pepes.
I might have asked that question wrong. So I'm asking, what's the % chance that runes BRC20s experience what counterparty fungible tokens went through in terms of being delisted, and very likely or very unlikely?
It's very likely.
So you think that they fade off?
Look, we just talked about the savagery of crypto. It's possible. It's very possible. Very possible.
Interesting.
Just because, look, you never, attention moves so quickly. I mean, do I think it's going to happen? Not necessarily, but it could definitely happen. This
It could
is
happen.
it definitely could happen. Like this is the type of thing where, for example, let's just, I mean, we're playing around in hypotheticals now,
Yeah,
but
100%.
even with counterparty, like, look, I mean, even if you look at counterparty, you look at all the L2s that are happening, all this sort of stuff that's building on Bitcoin specifically. What has history taught us? History has taught us that none of these L2, like they'll survive, but will they thrive? None of them are. I would say none of the L2s have thrived, right? Counterparty stacks, root stock.
Well, stacks. If you got in early on the token, it's sitting at a 2.5 billion market cap, so it's not bad.
Right. But who's doing anything on the chain itself, right? The answer is nobody.
Believe me, yeah, I check that all the time, and that's one of the things I point out is there's not volume on that chain.
It's ghost town, right? So yeah, I mean, it's just really, and this is almost universal in crypto. I don't think the L2s escape it on Ethereum. I think it's the same sort of thing, but does that mean that you couldn't make money on your AVAX token? Like you still might make a shit ton on AVAX or Optimism or whatever the token is. But will people be there using it? We've seen that getting, maintaining, and sustaining attention is really, I mean, this is like, it's almost impossible. It's darn near impossible. And so, yeah, I mean, look, Leo has a big job ahead of him with Dog. I don't know. Manib has a huge thing ahead of him with fucking stacks, right? Yeah. I have a huge thing ahead of me with bells. Like this is the game we're all playing.
But would you say it's fair to say that there's never been a robust on-chain economy on Bitcoin like since when Ordinal started?
Oh, definitely. Ordinals is the biggest one ever. 100%, dude.
And so that put
bigger,
Bitcoin
many times bigger than Counterparty, many infinite.
Yeah. So then that actually caused this ripple effect to make these UTXO chains make themselves try to be more useful.
Yeah.
And and then it also put Bitcoin in that number 2 spot, which it never existed at in terms of NFT volume. It was always like below Ethereum and Solana and probably even like the third or fourth, and not really talked about unless you knew the old historical NFTs. So to me, I think because of that, I think they're here forever.
I agree. Ordinals, Ordinals, yes. Ordinals, I would say it's going to be very difficult for a fungible or a non-fungible to come onto Bitcoin and beat Ordinals. I'd say that game seems
or even take the number 2 spot in volume. And if Ordinals does come, get that vitality back or that energy back, then it could maybe a couple years down the road reclaim that number 1 spot that it shortly had for like 4 months last year or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it as kind of like it's complicated, but can you do non-fungibles on Counterparty? Obviously, yes. Right. Does anybody going to give a shit? They're probably not. They probably don't give a shit on Ordinals either. But if you were going to do a non-fungible, where would you want to do it? And unless you're in like the Pepe business, I think you want to do it on Ordinals. And I don't think that's going to change. Like I think Ordinals kind of solidify itself as, what we'll call the NFT place on Bitcoin. But the non-fungibles the fungibles are up for grabs still, I think, to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my money's on runes, but could Cat 20 take its lunch? Yes. Like, I mean, here's a scenario where I think Cat 20 takes runes lunch is that, Bell spins it up and the script guys get the play between bells and fractals happening, and it happens. And it's people use it and can use it, and it works and it's relatively easy. And then Udi gets it on Bitcoin, gets Cat 20 on Bitcoin, and it connects. I think it wins. I think at that point in time, fungibles on Bitcoin move to the Cat 20 standard, and it's traded on Fractal or Bells, and then it becomes a battle of which one's better, right? That could absolutely happen. That could happen. And then that becomes the default. Basically people mint them or inscribe them or whatever you want to call it on Bitcoin and immediately trade them on these other chains. Like that could absolutely happen.
And from my understanding, Udi's trying to create catnip, right? Which is a OPCat token. But apparently these tokens, it doesn't matter. Anyone can have their own standard. They all kind of run on the same standard, which is the OPCat standard. So you can trade the catnip tokens with the cat 20 token. They're going to be the same exact thing. But, one, there's a white paper written for one and there's a white paper written for the other.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always wondering,
general,
what's Udi's real angle to make his company valuable? And I'm not really sure, but I feel like there's going to be a token there somewhere.
Yeah, with their own standard and
with their own standard, or that it's open source, but only we can launch it for the first week.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point is the cat VM, right? So they're trying to do kind of what I guess with OPCat they wouldn't have to do the arch approach, right? They would have the trustless bridging and then have their own standard in their environment. I imagine that could probably create a lot of revenue.
For sure. Yep. Yeah. I mean, Udi, I'm sure has some master plan. I don't know if I told you guys, but I did talk to Udi to try and encourage him to come and build on Bells, because I do think it's if you're building it either on Fractal or Bells first, if it happens on Bitcoin, then you have a distinct advantage to launch first, quicker, better, faster, stronger. He may be doing something in stealth. I don't know. But as far as I know, he's not. But if you kind of control the whole narrative, you can kind of make it happen. But I mean, look, they're burning money, man. They got a lot of high-end devs, and high-end devs aren't cheap. So those wizards are, I don't know how much they're, even though they raised, I don't know, 15 or $20 million, that don't last that long when you're paying guys $250,000 a year. It doesn't last long. So, I think Udi was funny enough. We changed our AIs to a quantum cat on the timeline. Udi still can dominate the timeline. He dominated it this week by getting AI XBT to change to a quantum cat. I mean, the guy is sharp as a tack, and I would never bet against him getting this done. But if he doesn't have something ready to roll out, like somebody's going to eat his lunch, man. Somebody will. And I think he does, because he recognizes that. But you're telling me those script guys wouldn't want to come on to Bitcoin fast as lightning and connect it to Bells and Fractal? Like, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, look, they still have significant challenges to get this done on Bitcoin, right? Obviously, significant challenge.
Well, my last thing with Bells, before I let you go here, is we're still on pace for the halving. The halving is the next one. So we're finally in 2025.
Oh, it looks. I mean, I checked today.
Here, right?
Cinco de Mayo, man. 5th of May.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo.
Wow.
Arriba, man.
So that's the last one, right?
That's the last one, man. So after that, it's 2 bells per block to infinity, man. So I don't know what that is. It's like it's basically like 4,000 bells, 3,500 bells per day, forever. So yeah, that's it. I mean, look, we didn't see what we thought we might see at the last halving, which when it went from over 200,000 bell per day to 20,000 bell per day, we didn't see at one point we did see a massive increase. We went up to, I don't know, almost $2 per bell, but the reality is, and this is just kind of like the way you think about bells, is that we had basically 10 months of miners mining bells and not really selling it into the market because there really wasn't a market. There wasn't really a place to buy. There was no big centralized exchange. We've had the centralized exchanges now. So we have Mexi and we have Gate. So the miners and people who are early have had some time to dump in, millions of bells into the market. And so that's happened. They'll continue, I'm sure, because they still have fat bags of bells. So there still might be some more dumping. We're seeing kind of a floor here at, I don't know, 50 cents. Will it dump more? Could dump more, but maybe those miners don't really want to sell much below 50 cents. And then when it goes to even less rewards per day, right now it's about 20,000 bell per day. When it moves to 3,500 bell per day, it's basically we have the potential to set up for a run. Will that happen? I don't know. We gotta bring more attention. No doubt about it. So people have to be excited about bells. I think there's a lot of cool stuff happening that gives it that potential. But at the end of the day, we have to bring awareness, man, and new people in to understand what it is, understand the kind of history of it, cool narrative, and then want to use it. And that's what every single community member has that challenge ahead of them. Like, we've got to be a positive community for good and good stuff. And if we do that, who knows? The moon is the destination, bro.
Sky's the limit.
Let's
Well,
get it.
It really
thank you,
is,
Adam, man. We appreciate you so much joining us this is episode 7, man. It's crazy
bro.
how fast it has gone. But can't wait for episode 8 in 2 weeks. We should hopefully have OPCat and
Oh
Runes
yeah,
by that point.
let's do it,
So,
man. Yes.
but I can't wait. But I'd love to give you the stage one last time, kind of talk about anything, Emblem Vault, AI, whatever. Bells, it's all up to you.
Well, I mean, I think coming into 2025, like, we're just at the start. We're kind of mid to early bull run. I think we're early still. Jake was saying, we did our prediction show, talked to you guys about prediction. Jake really feels, and Jake and Chris, who, my partners at Emblem, they're much more connected with, like, the vibes of how these cycles work. And they think really it could go into 2026, more of an extended, bull run. So, don't sell too early, sell if you make a lot of money, take care of you and your family, but strap in. This could be a little bit longer ride than you're thinking. It's definitely not going to end tomorrow. So there's some time here, especially with, the new administration and stuff. I think it could get incredibly bullish on the crypto side, with what comes out of Washington, DC. So when that comes and that euphoria comes, be prepared for your bags to pump a little. And so whether that's ordinals or runes or whatever, that's when it gets really exciting. And I think that that's going to happen, later in 2025 for sure.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Adam. Appreciate you, man.
Guys. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Well, that was absolutely amazing. Having Adam on for Bell's Corner is such a treat. We both look forward to it all week, man. It's definitely going to be exciting in 2025 for Bells. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be absolutely huge. Getting it right now at 50 cents, not financial advice, but I think is an absolute steal. I mean, even the miners stopped selling, right? As Adam said, we're seeing a floor here at 50 cents. So, will they, if it gets back to 60 cents, will they start selling again? Who knows? Maybe. But I'm definitely bullish for something that was just $1.80 a month ago. So I'm looking forward to this year, especially with Runes, with OPCat, with the Halving coming in Cinco de Mayo. It's really exciting.
Yeah. And I think that, like, right now there's just the mind share has gone a little bit away from UTXO stuff, but I think it's coming back. These products are going to roll out first on Bitcoin. The ones that really get adoption and bells and all these other UTXO chains, I think, are going to follow suit. So I think we're just building out that UTXO ecosystem. We're going to see something similar to the EVM side of things that happened in 2020. For me, I'm being patient. Like Shizzy said, I think these are great prices for bells, but we shall see. But we definitely thank you for hanging out with us for this hour and 20 minutes. Like Shizzy said, we always look forward to Bell's Corner with Adam. Gives us that insight to what the community is thinking and what the developers are thinking over there. But again, we thank you for watching us and supporting us as well. And if you would have, if you could, and you have some extra time, wouldn't mind checking out our partners, we would greatly appreciate that. Emblem Vault is the interoperability tool of the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to jump your ordinals from Bitcoin to L2s like Merlin Chain, Abstract, possibly Ape Chain in the future. So, these guys are really well connected. They have their AI tool as well that's coming to Bitcoin with their AI agent wallet, and then Tensorium that they built on Solana that's going to be working with Cypher Genesis as well. So they're going to be doing some team collaboration. So it's going to be really exciting. You can learn more about them at emblem.vision. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. You can utilize their ICP technology along with Bitcoin technology for you guys to be able to place bets on their marketplace. If you have an Xverse wallet with some Bitcoin in it, you can actually deposit that directly to their platform. It takes 6 blocks and then you are good to go. They have some really good bets that are on their platform relating to Bitcoin. Also, their create your own markets is going to be coming out very soon. They said probably towards the end of this month, but that's the game changer in my opinion. That's the differentiator that you're going to be able to earn off of the volume that you get on your market. And so we'll get you guys more updates on that. You can learn more at betbtc.win. And then BitParp is the perps and leverage dex of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Their paper trading competition, they are shooting for, I believe, the end of this month. They're waiting on Botonics, guys, for them to upgrade their chain. But you can go on bitperp.io just to learn more right now, get comfortable with their interface. They have some big announcements coming up. And, the goal is to really be able to let you guys trade, synthetic fungible tokens that are Bitcoin layer 1 tokens. So it's going to be really fun. Learn more at bitperp.io. And then Fluid Tokens, the UTXO wizard devs is what I call them. Raul, the CTO over there, is doing huge things. They are the first to offer retail staking vaults on Bitcoin layer 1. If you are a builder or a founder of an ordinal collection, you want your holders to be able to stake those assets and earn, reach out to Raul. He'll get you set up with a staking vault. You can learn more at fluidtokens.com and click on the Bitcoin side for more Bitcoin information. And then Merlin Chain, your #1 scaling solution for Bitcoin native L1 assets and protocols. If you are a builder on L1 and you want a more flexible version of your protocol, you can reach out to Merlin Chain's team and apply for a builder's grant. They have great builder support there. And if you are a user, you can utilize their version of Uniswap, which is called merlinswap.org, and you can trade your wrapped Bitcoin for Dog Go to the Moon and the Bitmap token and other runes, synthetic runes there. So yes, check them out. Definitely exciting stuff coming from them. Integrated partners are Foxy, which is building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, and their first-person shooter game called Clan Wars. Make sure you're checking them out. They're always releasing some new information on developments. And then Ordinal Hive is your aggregated marketplace for ordinals on Bitcoin layer 1 and layer 2. You're going to be able to find the cheapest ordinals around on Ordinal Hive's platform, as well as utilize their tools if you are an avid trader. So make sure you're checking them out. And we thank you so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. And if you guys wouldn't mind checking out ordinalrevolution.com, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to last year. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we have the #1 VPN. That's Nord. We have a 70% off coupon. Just kind of come over here and just click our NordVPN link, and that'll take you to that. Guys, that's $2.99 a month. It's almost nothing. Don't be traveling the webs around. People can see your IP address. That can potentially get them your address. And as Bitcoiners, we don't want that. We don't want people knowing where we live. We're self-sovereign. We're self-custody. We have a lot of money in our hardware wallets and stuff like that. We don't want that. So definitely get a VPN and get it today. Get Nord. If you don't get Nord, get something else. Just get a free one. Just make sure you have a VPN. But Nord is the absolute best. If you guys are going to Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, we have tickets here. Do not wait for next year to get your tickets, guys. They're going to 10x in price from here. Don't wait. Get them today. It's going to be absolutely fun. It's going to be exciting. We will both be there, like I said, and it's going to be great. So definitely get your tickets out here. If you guys need merch, we have some of the best merch in crypto. We have hoodies, hats, jackets, school bags, and everything else. It's hoodie season. My favorite time. I'm usually rocking a hoodie nonstop, but you guys can get the hoodies here. This is the hoodie that I have, but they have so many other ones. Check them all out. Look at this Goosena one. It's absolute fire. Check out everything here at Ordinal Revolution.com, guys. And we are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, and 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. We're excited. This is going to be a really good week. We really feel like this is a really good quarter for it to be in Bitcoin. So look out for that. But until tomorrow.
Peace.
Ordinal Revolution. Let's go.